Lavish. It's time for us all to come together. Young, old, and everyone in between. Lavish talks about business, news, politics, networking, and anything else that's going on in the world. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lavish Towing, and on YouTube at Lavish T. Williams. This is Lavish T. Williams.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm reporting live here today on Friday, and I got a special guest, another one in the house. Today we're going to be talking about marketing, branding, and advertisement. Today I got Robert Courtney on the air, on the line right here. Y'all give him a warm round of applause.
What's good, man?
What's going on, man? I'm glad I got you here, man. We got to get down to the business, man, of what you do.
I'm glad to be here.
Appreciate it, man. So, Robert Courtney, who are you and what do you do? We see you all over the place, and for those that don't see him, you're going to pay attention to him after this show is over with.
I love it. So, my name is Robert Courtney. I am a marketing and branding strategist, and for those of you that don't know what that is, basically I assist small businesses, large businesses, businesses of any size. I assist them with coming up with strategies to better grow or expand or bring brand awareness to their business through social media platforms. And so we've helped hundreds of businesses over the last 3-4 years. And that's typically how I build my day. Most of the time, clients who have been successful marketing through traditional platforms like TV, radio, billboard, direct mail, magazines, a lot of times those individuals come to me when they want to create a strategy to do the same thing on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And so a lot of these companies who you may think have created their own strategy for themselves, it's probably Robert Courtney and Associates behind the scenes kind of guiding and running the show. So that's basically what I do.
How long have you been in this business? How did it start?
I hopped in. So it's actually a funny story. I don't think I get a chance to tell the story too much, but I started with the clothing line back in 2009. The clothing line is called Unique Collection, UNEEK. And with our clothing line, it actually took us all over the country. And the one particular stop we did in 2007 was NBA All-Star Weekend, which was in LA. And in that experience, we ended up connecting with a company called Oxy Water. And so Oxy Water was supposed to be a rival to like Powerade, Gatorade, drinks like that. They were based out of Columbus, so it was kind of like a neighboring city. We both on the West Coast, but we're both from the Midwest. And so we connected pretty quick. And we ended up growing a pretty good relationship with those guys. And immediately following that trip to All-Star Weekend, when we got back, they were opening up in several Walgreens throughout the Midwest. And one of the states that they had gotten a contract was Michigan. And so based on our story that we told them, they knew that the way that we grew our brand, our fashion brand, was primarily through social media. Okay. We were monsters on Facebook when it first came out. And so we learned every trick, every way to manipulate the platform to get more reach, and algorithms wasn't the way algorithms are back then. And we could create event pages and invite thousands and thousands of people to those pages. I'm sure you remember Facebook back in those old days.
Yeah.
And so we basically grew our brand through Facebook, and they knew that we had did that. And a lot of the information that was coming out then was just how, if you were launching a brand, you needed to really understand social media in order to have longevity. And so they reached out to us about running a social media campaign for them out of Michigan. But the only way that they could do it was if we had an LLC and a tax ID number, so that they can make this a marketing expense, essentially. And so at the time, it was like, we had no plan of launching a marketing company. We had helped people, we had consulted with people, but we didn't have an actual marketing company established at that point. So I got my partner and I'm like, look, I'm about to just go ahead and create this LLC just because I'm not sure what we're going to call it. We're just going to call it my name, Robert Courtney LLC. And I launched it, and they literally sent the contract like the following week after we established the bank account and those things. And so Robert Courtney LLC was born 2013. And that was our first big account. We did that for about a year. And in doing that, we just started looking for other similar opportunities. And we probably had about 4 businesses that we did social media and marketing for to about 2016, 2017. And around that time, I decided to just go 100% with the marketing company. My partner still runs and operates the clothing line, and it's been on ever since. Like since 2018, we've helped about 106 brands and businesses, and that number obviously continues to grow. So,
I mean, whatever you're doing, I guess it's working, because before I actually met you, I felt like I knew you. And what I mean by that is when I seen you on the bus when we did that small business tour going through the city. What was that, year before last?
Yep.
I'm looking, I'm like, man, I know this guy. I know this guy. Where do I know this guy from, man? I know this guy, and I'm sitting there and I'm
Social
constantly
media.
looking, and it comes from social media, because it felt like I knew you. And it's like, man, where I seen him from somewhere. I seen him, and I'm trying to like, man,
Right.
where'd he come from? Where'd he come from? I know this guy. And then I look, and I'm like, man, that guy that I just seen is on social media. He's here. He's there. He's there. I mean, you work with a lot of companies, man. I mean,
Right.
the pitch in your angle is working. I see you with Dale, right? You do something with Dale, right? How did that come about?
Yeah. So the Dale opportunity came about through a relationship with a company called Accelerate America. And as you mentioned, my goal with everything I do, as a matter of fact, 2016, 2017, when I really decided to go full-fledged with the marketing company, I set a schedule for myself where it was like, my goal every single week is to meet 10 new businesses or people that are thinking about starting businesses.
Okay.
And so when I say meet people, that could be a conversation on the phone, that could be an email, that could be an actual event. But I'm going to rub shoulders with 10 new people every single week. And so from 2017 to 2020, my activity, not so much 2020 because of COVID, obviously, but my activity in the streets and just, the objective of how many people can I meet? Like, how many people can I let know who I am, what my services are, how we can help their businesses, maybe, not even necessarily get paid to help them, but give them information and resources about how they can make their business better. Like, that was my sole objective, and I was also very determined to showcase as much of that as possible. So not only am I going to physically get out there and do it, I'm going to get cameramen and photographers, and I'm going to document this whole process to make sure people know that I'm active, but then to teach myself where we can get better, how we can improve our systems and build upon these relationships. And so one of the relationships that transpired through that time was the relationship with Accelerate America. And it's funny, I met them around 2016, begin to grow organically our relationship. They asked me to do a couple webinars and a couple workshops for them. I did it free of charge. It's like anywhere I can help and be of value to you and your network, I'll do that. That went great. And then during the pandemic, around April of 2020, they reached out and asked me to help them improve their digital strategy, help them come up with some strategies to be better online, which a lot of people did in 2020 because we couldn't get out in the streets and do what we normally do. And it went phenomenal. So they've been a client. They were just people that I knew that I started a relationship before. 2020, they became a client. And then Dell, because the way Accelerate America works, they also provide resources for small businesses, but in different ways. So I do social media help and marketing. They provide resources like discounts at like office supply, or maybe you need help with your taxes, or just small business tools that could help a small business owner run his company better. And so Dell reached out to them because they want to have a more of a presence in urban areas, and they reached out to them about finding a individual who's an entrepreneur who could make their product more relatable in the city of Detroit. And I was the first person that came to mind. And so they asked me if it was something I would be interested in doing. And of course, I was very interested. It fit hand in hand with my, daily activities. And the rest has been kind of history. So now we're on round 2. We did the first campaign. It was called Detroit Entrepreneur Life. We were able to give away a ton of Dell products and also co-working space to 3 individuals. We provided some free strategy sessions for some individuals, photography, and some other things. And then now we're on our second go around with this new campaign called Start with Dell. And so we're in the midst of that, and it'll probably wrap up sometime next month. So it's been an exciting experience, and Dell's been awesome. I'm talking on the Dell computer that they gave me to start the campaign, and they gave me quite a few things, so it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I guess that's a great benefit of partnering with these different companies. Now, for anybody that's out there listening,
the pay isn't too bad either.
That's always a plus. Good pay keeps you motivated. Now,
100%.
this is what I want to tell everybody that's listening. Everybody that's listening, if you're watching this video, you need to take heed, take notes to it. Take notes to what he's saying, because he's a marketing and branding individual. And if you have a small business and you want to market your business and you want to brand it, right now, he's just speaking with us. So it would be crucial for you to take notes so that you can help grow your business, as he's given us this free game. Because as he said, he has a consulting firm. That means he charges for that. But he's given us a snippet of what he does. Now, what can you tell these people out here that's starting off, don't know anything, they got a vision and they're focused on their business, and they haven't, they don't have a following. They don't even know how to connect with anybody.
Right. The first thing is you need to get a following. So, and when that word following is obviously thrown around, but a following just essentially means you have an audience or a network of people that's listening to what you have to say, right? And that could be inside of your phone. That could be the contacts in your phone. That could be your email list, the contacts you have in your email. It could be your friends on Facebook. Shoot, it could be your neighborhood. Like wherever there's people that's willing to listen to you, like that's always a starting point, and then the next thing is you have to establish relationships and trust with those individuals. And so if people don't trust you, then you have no chance of being able to market or sell anything. So you got to develop trust with the audience that you establish. The next thing is you have to figure out where the attention is. And you're doing a great job of that with this podcast. People tend to shy away from things like podcasts and, the newer technology like Clubhouse or TikTok, but you have to go where people are, right? And so if that's TikTok, then maybe you have to figure out some new dances and hop on TikTok. If that's Clubhouse, maybe you have to get used to speaking and articulating yourself over your device. But the attention constantly changes, and a big factor of being successful is understanding where that attention is. The next thing I would say is create content. create as much content as you can. You mentioned me being us knowing each other because you continue to see my content popping up everywhere you went, right? So, I'm creating content for every single platform, every single day, and I'm creating more content than I actually need. It is a very, very crucial piece to any successful business. And the last thing I would say is you have to be super consistent. You got to show up every single day, whether you want to or not. As a business owner or someone who's trying to build and establish a brand, your superpower is going to be your consistency. How consistent can you be with your message? How consistent can you be with being on these platforms? And how consistent can you be for the clients and the customers that you're trying to serve? All those things I just said is actually an acronym that we use to guide everything we do. It's called ATTACK. And so I just told you audience, trust, attention, content, and consistency. Just remember ATTACK, and it will be a great barometer, a great navigation tool to kind of calibrate and see where you are to make sure you're staying on track.
Oh man, that's great knowledge. That's great knowledge for someone that's out there listening. Where do you think a lot of people fail at? Is it simply because they do not follow as you say, the acronym of ATTACK, or is it anything else outside of that, or that's the main first failure to do?
I think a lot of people fail in several of those areas. The biggest thing is just doing what you say you're going to do, which is, some of that is consistency. But I think, a lot of people can talk a good game, like they have great aspirations, great ideas. But the execution part is where a lot of people drop the ball, and also, when it comes to being a business owner or entrepreneur, it's just not for everybody. Like, it's just not, I think you have to be cut from a certain cloth. You have to have a certain resiliency, a certain unbreakable spirit, because, we actually get hit upside the head every single day when it comes to entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely.
So absolutely. If you're not built for that type of life, it is perfectly fine to be self-aware and realize like that's just not for me. And maybe you're more of a side hustle type of person where you need, some consistent income coming in, but you dibble and you dabble on the side on the weekends, after work to get a couple extra dollars or whatnot. But there's nothing wrong with identifying that you're not really built for entrepreneurship.
Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
It does.
People don't understand the long hours.
You have to be addicted and attracted to the roller coaster that is entrepreneurship. If you don't get excited about the challenge of having to go out and make it happen, then
it's not going to work out for you. It's not going to work out for you, man. I mean, I tell you, man, with the money that you spend, the long hours, the fun that you cannot have, how you always have to be available for this. Some people, they look at the successful entrepreneurs and they see them and they might say, man, he doesn't do anything. He's just so relaxed, but they have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. I'm just relaxed right now because I walked away.
Right.
But I have to go back to
reality.
Yourself
a break from the real life.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's you hit the nail on the head. Like I'm a calm person in nature, but I always tell people, if you are able to get inside of my brain and get inside of my body, like it's a lion inside of me, like nonstop, ready to gobble and devour everything that comes in my path. But what you see on the outside is just years and years of experience and being able to navigate it with a calm spirit. But on the inside, it's just constant chaos.
It's just it's chaos, and it's constantly going, and it's constantly going. And then here's the thing I want to tell some of the other entrepreneurs out there. They probably can agree with me. We do not think like normal people. And that makes us so great, because the average thinking person that thinks regular logic it's not logic to us. And when we share our thoughts, it makes absolutely no sense to nobody but us. And it's a genius, it's a very genius idea. And someone else is looking like, that made no sense.
Yeah, here's mine.
It's not gonna work. And then you get it, 6 months, a year, 2 years later, they think back and they like, man, you have said that, but I didn't have an idea. So it's that vision. You got to have a certain type of vision as an entrepreneur to work.
100%. And what's even crazier than that is that when you say those things and people tell you that, oh yeah, that's gonna be sweet, or that's gonna be dope, I don't even want to do it no more. Like when they start making it sound like it's easy, it's like, oh well, everybody agreeing with me, I'm straight. I gotta come up with something different. But yeah, typically people aren't visionaries, and they don't have the ability to see it the way you do. So a lot of times, you'll get pushback, or people telling you that that's a little outlandish, or they don't quite understand. Like I take these opportunities to hop on podcasts like this because it's another opportunity for me to elaborate on who I am and what I do. But nobody understands what I do. Like I can tell people 1,000 times over and over, and they still don't get it. And that's okay. Like it doesn't need to make sense to them. It only needs to make sense to the people that it's meant for.
Correct.
And
absolutely.
I think that's entrepreneurship in a nutshell, right? Like we are problem solvers. Like we are, solution experts. Like we figure things out. And so like that's really how I've probably lived my life over the last 10 years, and I enjoy every minute of it.
That's cool. Now I want to share this to the people, but I also want you to talk more about it. You're teaching courses and classes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So did you have more to the question?
No. I want you to go in there because I want all the entrepreneurs and people that's thinking about starting a business that might need to use your services, that's trying to brand or market themselves. I want them to be aware of what you're doing, and that you also educate and teach people certain things that will help with their business.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm actually right now in the process of really building out what we're going to call my yellow room. So my yellow room is a digital resource library that gives insight around all different aspects of branding, marketing, and growing your business online. We've just started it. It's on my website right now, robertcourtneyandassociates.com, but it is in its infancy stages. But within the next 6 months, there will be basically every aspect of social media, marketing, branding that you can think of that you might have questions about will live inside of the yellow room, as well as my YouTube channel, which will have more of a vlog style approach to helping business owners understand the ins and outs of growing their brand online. We host several strategy sessions a week. And so I've taken and I've started to compile those daily interactions into a series called Build, Build. And we're on season 3 right now. So if you watch the episodes of Build, you'll see so much content and information that gives insight to how you should move as a business owner, little tricks and tips and insights that you can use that could probably help your business in real time, especially businesses that's dealing with restrictions due to COVID, who need to create more of a digital experience, or just create a better brand presentation when it comes to Instagram and Facebook and all these different social media platforms. And so those are resources that we'll have available where people don't necessarily need me. They can go and just seek out the resources. But if individuals are interested in having me teach them, I offer a ton of consulting services, and you could book that time on my website as well. And if you have a business or a brand, a marketing team where you might want to bring us in so we can give you a blueprint or a template, we also have those things available. And so we love to get back to hosting our branding for beginners, which was an awesome thing we did for the community as a whole through Detroit Startup Week. But due to COVID, we've had to kind of put that on pause. But I'm very certain that as soon as the restrictions loosen up a little bit more, we'll start to bring those back. And hopefully by the time the fall rolls around, we can host another, kind of big community branding workshop for everybody to come out and attend.
Oh yeah, and if you do that, you definitely got to let me know so I can be in attendance.
1,000%.
Yeah, absolutely. And you, Robert Courtney, before this whole marketing thing launched off and began for you, you were a barber.
I was.
And you had your own business, your own barbershop.
Yep.
So you had the entrepreneurship already in the blood.
Yeah, you know what? Entrepreneurship, I was an entrepreneur before I even realized I was an entrepreneur. It took getting fired from a job in 2003 for me to finally look myself in the eyes and say, I'm never allowing somebody else to dictate my future and my ability to support myself or my family. And so 2003, when I got fired from that job, the only thing that I could do that could make me money immediately was cut hair.
Okay.
And so I ended up connecting with an old friend, actually a friend of a girlfriend at the time. And she gave me an opportunity to come work in her barbershop and go to school, simultaneously. And I went and I went to school, started working, and 2 years from me starting, she offered me the opportunity to partner with her at that shop. And then 2007, I was able to take the little 401k that I had from that old job and the money that I had made, borrowed some money from my dad and some other people, and just went on and bought it outright. And so 2007 to 2018, I ran Unique Barbershop. A lot of people probably know it. Unique Barbershop on Michigan Avenue between Cecil and Central. And I was there 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night doing 50, 60, 70 haircuts a week. Trying to just figure things out. Like nobody gave me a blueprint for being a business owner. I didn't take classes or go to school or, it was literally, learning on the fly every single day how to be a businessman.
But that's how a lot of us are. A lot of the stuff that we learn, we're self-taught. I did go to college for business administration, but as I was taking classes, I was already learning business from a real life standpoint. And the things that they were teaching me in school, I wasn't applying. It was like they're teaching me this, but over here I'm actually operating a business. I'm over here actually going and doing everything that's outside of these books. So I kind of drifted away from college, because in real life it's totally different from the books. A lot of people, they go to college and it's good. I don't knock anybody that go to college, but I don't think certain programs in college can give you that real life experience through a book. You actually have to be right there hands-on to really get the real knowledge, because the books are only going to tell you so much. It can't 100%. Tell you real life stuff. So a lot of the entrepreneurs,
and most of the time most of the instructors that's teaching those classes haven't ran a business themselves.
They haven't. They just sitting in a book. It's just book stuff.
So they're just following. Exactly. They're just following what they're reading in the outlines. And so, it's like you can't plan for what happens in real business and real entrepreneurship. You just have to have the resourcefulness, the mindset. I think people underestimate mindset so much, and self-awareness, and a lot of these skills that no book can teach you, like skills that your parents teach you, your surroundings, your environment, these instincts that you are that grow within you happen way before you get to college. And if you have those, then you can improve upon those skills. But I think about the main things that I think create longevity. None of them are things that you would ever learn from school. Like you just wouldn't learn from school.
No, absolutely. And I feel like when I graduated back in the 90s, late 90s, people frowned upon trade schools because everybody felt like a trade school. Why would you go there? But right now, it
Right.
seems like skilled trades. It's not a. It seems like the skilled trade people, they're the ones that's really winning. How
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
people that you know went to college and finished with a law degree, a psychology degree, and other various degrees, and they're not even working in that field?
Right.
So I
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
that's a waste of time and money, because they still got these student loans. They're not even working in the field that they went to school for. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
I mean, it's unfortunate. Like there was a machine during the late '80s, early '90s, and early 2000s that really just pushed parents and gave them the information that sent that kind of put into their kids' mind, into their minds, that school and 4-year degrees and all these things was like, that was winning. Like, that's how you put yourself in the best position to succeed. And so, it's not to any fault of any of the individuals that ended up going and getting those degrees and putting themselves in debt, because you only know what you know.
Right.
You only can go off of the information that's being provided to you. um However, I was, and I was in that same boat. I just, like I said, I got fired. Like, if it wasn't for getting fired and getting, having my back get put against the wall, I would have probably never ventured off onto this journey of entrepreneurship, because it creates this safety net when you're working a job and you're getting a check every single
Right.
week, and
Right.
you don't really have the need to push yourself beyond your limitations and explore. Like, I think about my son. My son's 10 years old, and he plays basketball and football, and I think about him at 10, when he gets tired, or when the coach makes a request that he doesn't feel that he can do, and he's on his last leg, so to speak, and he's barely making it, and then all of a sudden the coach throws the ball up, and then he's running full speed like he was never tired in the first place. And what that says is, you have extra gears and extra levels and heights that you can go to. You don't even know it yet. Like,
Right.
you
You don't know
haven't, you
your
just
full capability until your back is against that wall. You have no other choice but to use it.
100%. So when you have individuals that are, you know, calling themselves entrepreneurs, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel like you're an entrepreneur, then, go ahead and claim that title. But you do not know what entrepreneurship is until you have nothing else to rely on, until you are fully immersed in a scenario where there's no paycheck coming, you don't have a job to report to, and you have to provide food for your family or for yourself on your own ability to create that dime.
That's
And when
true.
you're in that scenario, then you're an entrepreneur in the full sense of the word, and you've experienced what it's like to push yourself to your full potential. But it's, to me, again, it's all about your individual aspirations, and it is 1,000% okay to not be willing to go down that road. And again, it's not for everybody. So
It's not for everybody. I know that, time is going by. We both got things to do, but I want to run through a couple pictures that I got, and I want you to explain
okay.
these real quick. This is your vision. This is the 2021 vision.
That was I actually hate that image or that artwork to be 1,000% honest. Just a little context. So, like, that was created in an app called Textagram, which, if you are a business owner and you're looking for ways to create content quickly, it's an app called Textagram. And um I've evolved beyond Textagram. I just don't like it. The fonts aren't good. I don't like this font. I don't like this cookie cutter layout. However, it got such a good response, and it was just how I was feeling that particular day, so I left it up there. But
Okay.
this was me just basically, I've tried to adapt this mentality of do things without expectations. And it's not an easy place to get, like, mentality wise, it's not an easy place to be, but it literally changed my life. And so this was really me speaking to the world about what I feel like I've kind of elevated to. And it's like when you do things with expectations, you can't hurt my feelings. You can't disappoint me because I never expected anything. If I give you $10, it's because I want to give you $10 and I don't care if you pay me back or not. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of mental approach. And then also obviously to just like I don't have any beef with anyone in my heart. And so when you can move like that, it just gives you a different type of peace that people don't even understand. And it just makes it makes handling and encountering daily challenges 1,000 times easier when you have that type of mentality.
Now, from what I took from it, and this is just my interpretation, I took from it peace. If you guys owe me money, keep it. Because if I stress over it, it would affect my self-care, my mental.
100%.
But if I say, don't even worry about it. It took one time for you to screw me over. It took one time for me to see what type of person you actually are. So now I know, but I can free myself from this.
Yep.
I can free myself from this to keep my sanity. So I just felt like it was a lot of negatives that you turned to positives by not letting it bother you. You were totally unbothered by it. That was my interpretation of me seeing that. Now this right here.
I like that. So that's like an old I think Japanese interpretation of trying to find your purpose. And so what it is 4 different areas of life people strive for. And most of the time people can only accomplish one of those things. And so either it's like something that they love, something that the world needs, something that can be paid for, or something that you're good at. And if you can find one thing that does all of those things for you, like that is your purpose. And so like that's a diagram to kind of visually showcase that. And it's something that we use for clients so that they can help kind of lock in on what their content should look like and the type of message that they're trying to get across when it comes to their social media.
Okay. And being from the Motor City, being from the D, being from Detroit, this can go without no saying. We are doers.
Yes.
That's
actually located inside that's the first thing you see when you come off of the elevators inside of Bamboo. And so Bamboo is a co-working space downtown Detroit off of Washington. And it's ran by a lady named Amanda Lewan. She's an incredible entrepreneur, visionary, etc. And so I thought, we're doing this Detroit Entrepreneurs Love Life with Dale. And we had to grab that picture because that really spoke to, who we are as Detroiters for sure.
Oh, man, that's cool, man. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank you, Robert, for being on my show today. I'm hoping that
100%.
the show brought some type of insight, some type of knowledge. The viewers gain some type of knowledge. They might be able to utilize your services, and they might reach out to you. If they need to contact you or find you, where can they find you? How can they contact you?
The platform I am on the most outside of Facebook here is probably my Instagram, which is Robert Courtney Collins. You can email me, robertcourtneycollins@gmail.com, or you can visit the website, which is robertcourtneyandassociates.com. So Robert Courtney Collins pretty much on every social media platform.
Okay, that's cool.
Or just hit our guy Lavish up and tell him to connect us. And then you might get a discount.
You might get a discount. It won't be for towing though. But you might get a discount, everybody. So, that's Robert Courtney, Rodney Courtney and Associates. I'm glad he came to the show. I want to leave out on this video. This is a video that was shot with him. And he's just gonna talk and we're gonna end it out with that. And thank everybody for watching.
Before you end this, I gotta say, you keep doing your thing. I'm watching all the activity. I see you moving slowly in a newer direction. I'm paying attention. I love the podcast. The history of the towing situation is super dope, and how you've started to kind of flip that and use your influence to do, different things, bring exposure to other individuals in the city. I think that's super dope too. So I just want to give you your flowers and tell you thank you for bringing me on the platform. I definitely appreciate it, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you for noticing. I think that we need to bring more awareness to each other as a whole. If this guy or this gal over here is doing something, we should embrace it and become stronger together. It's nothing wrong with helping another guy or helping another woman. There's nothing wrong with empowering each other. So yes, I want to use my platform to do just that. Bring awareness, bring some education, some knowledge. So yeah, definitely I'm going to use my platform as much as I can so that I can be helpful to the next person.
I love it, man. Keep doing your thing.
Absolutely. Now here we go. We're going to take y'all into this video right here and see y'all on the next podcast.
I think one of the biggest things on my mind currently is just this idea of having ultimate self-belief while still being humble. And I think there's a big misconception about being able to be confident and demonstrate confidence, but also be humble at the same time. And there's a hidden confidence within being humble, and I don't think a lot of people know how to execute that. And so what I'm finding out is that a lot of people who portray confidence online, people that portray confidence on social media, when you get to talking to them and you really start to see some of the things that they've been through, some of the things that the questions that they're asking, you can see immediately that they have no self-belief. And that makes it obvious why their projects aren't working. And it makes it obvious why they're not closing the deals that they probably should close. And it's kind of changed my approach to a lot of the things that I do to help people. Like now, I want to get to the foundation of why is there issues, which is more about like psychology, and it's more about things that have zero to do with marketing, zero to do with branding, zero to do with social media. That's about like internal conversations. Like what's blocking this person from being confident? What's blocking this person from believing in themselves? And so I've turned into more of a psychiatrist. Like I've turned into more of a counselor and somebody who has to inspire people to realize that you can really do anything that you set your mind to. And when you are 100% locked in on that goal or that dream or that passion, there's no doubt that you can make it happen. And that's half the battle. Like that's probably 75% of the battle. Just simple self-belief and confidence that you can achieve whatever it is that you're putting your mind to. And then if you sprinkle some dope marketing, you sprinkle a dope presentation around that, the sky is literally the limit for your accomplishments.